Hello everyone, my name is Joshua and this is the 199th video on my video journal series. Today's date is Wednesday, the 26th of August, 2026. How's everyone been? I've been pretty good, thank you. And today I really didn't do much. I just stayed at home, worked on my first round of uni assessments, because, it is that time of the semester. And, some of them aren't really fun, but you got to work on them anyway. Some of them are quite interesting, but boy, they do take a lot of time to research and then write up, and then, you gotta put in all your citations, references, sources. There's a lot that goes into writing an essay or doing a practical project. But, to take a break from work, I had some fast food. I had a bit in the morning and a little bit in the afternoon. I saved a bit in the afternoon because I was like, hey, maybe I'll be hungry after my walk and all that. But something I've noticed, especially, these last couple of days where I've been recovering from being sick, is that I haven't really recovered my sense of taste, if you know what I mean. Is that like, well, now whenever I eat like fast food, or I might eat like a dish that I really uh, used to love, but now it just tastes different and often in a worse way. Now I know fast food is always changing and always like swapping out the ingredients and often making things worse. Just in terms of quality or quantity. But I feel like now, even if I go to like KFC, for instance, I went to KFC a few days ago, and I noticed that they're like, for me personally, the chicken salt, right? The taste of their chicken salt, the seasoning they put on their chips, just tastes different. You know, mind you, I got some extra chicken salt on the chips that I ordered, but I didn't like it. I was like, hey, maybe it's just me, or has KFC changed their chicken salt recipe? I doubt they changed the chicken salt recipe. It's highly popular, and I don't think they'll like do such an unpopular sort of thing. But it might just be due to my personal taste, and it might just be to the fact that, well, once you're sick, or if you're recovering from an illness, your taste buds, or really your sense of taste, is just different, and it might be like that for a couple of more like weeks or months. I've yet, yeah, like I noticed that, ever since I've been like sick last week, just junk food tastes a lot different. I even had a McDonald's. I had like a quarter pounder, and that just tasted different, and in a worse way, I'll say, uh, compared to like an experience I would have maybe a few months prior. Because I love the quarter pounder at McDonald's, even though it is unhealthy. It always tasted nice in my opinion. But now I'm like, oh well, something's different here. And today I had another fast food meal, and I was like, all right, well, usually I love eating this, but I'm like, oh well, it just tastes different. It tastes like watered down, and it didn't help that the when I had it in the afternoon, it was cold. Maybe I should have like reheated it up. But at the same time, uh, you know, usually I'll be like scoffing it, like this meal down. It was like a mini like sub, chicken sub. So yeah, I don't know, how long it'll be before I recover my taste, or maybe it's unrelated to my, me being sick. Maybe it's, uh, maybe I've grown a little bit older, and like my taste buds have like transformed in a way. Either that happened like a very short amount of time, and it happened when I was sick. But I also noticed that my voice hasn't really fully recovered yet. I've been drinking water, I've been resting, and all that. But I could still notice my voice isn't 100% there yet. Uh, or maybe I've undergone some like pretty big change when I was sick. Hopefully, it isn't like permanent or anything. Like it wasn't really like a you know very bad illness. It was very hard to bear with for a few days. It was like a very severe flu, but hopefully it doesn't like significantly alter my like taste or appetite really. Uh, Unless there it might be like another sort of external factor, but I highly doubt it. But anyway, yeah, it's just that my taste buds have I guess for now at least, you know, been changed. And I guess, it is for the good thing that I start like cutting down on fast food because, I think when we're all young, we all love fast food, we all want to go to McDonald's and all that. But then we realize that, when we grow older, we appreciate a more balanced and healthier meal. And I certainly do. But, fast food was one of those things where, I could rely on just in case, like I wanted to like cheer myself up or just have like a quick bite to eat for cheap. But now fast food is, I guess, getting quite expensive, and there's other ways that I could, seek to have a good dining experience rather than indulging in fast food habits. But at the same time, I do miss, I guess, how everything used to taste. And I'm speaking like, I fully lost my taste, but no, it's just more like I guess my taste has been transformed or it's changed. Um, and I guess, that's just how life is, I guess, when you grow older, or if you've, been sick for a few days, you're still gonna like readjust to things, and taste might be one of them. Um, But I've noticed that obviously, excluding fast food, my taste in like normal everyday foods like vegetables, potatoes. I know potatoes are part of vegetables. I should have said carrots. I'm gonna sound like, I mean, they're all vegetables, but why would you say vegetables then uh, potatoes? But anyway, you know what I mean. Fruits, veggies, even water. It's still the same. Obviously, water still tastes the same, but um, you know, I guess you like it just yeah those things they pretty much like taste the same because they're so fundamental. It's a basic element, water. um, but something that has, I guess, more of a complex composition. I'm using my very scientific words here, like a McDonald's cheeseburger where it has multiple things. um, it will taste, I guess, different because at least one of those ingredients or one of those condiments, uh, your taste buds have sort of adapted to, or have sort of changed. So when you like recognize, or when your taste buds feel, I don't know, the burger bun, tomato, or lettuce, like, hey, you know, you whatever cognitive process in your brain's like, hey, this is this condiment. Now I'm getting very sidetracked off here. That's just to say, stuff that is like honey, for instance, or water will, taste more consistent than a McDonald's cheeseburger. Yet again, I sound really dumb. I'm gonna leave this before I sound even dumber. But yeah, so those man, I was trying to explain that in a way that I guess I could have used that analogy, but it was terrible. But that's just to say that the basic foods that I eat in life, um, still taste the same, which is why I've been eating a lot of plain rice recently. That's a good one because plain rice has pretty much tasted the exact same thing to me throughout my entire life. Um, so and it's a good like sick food. When I was sick, I ate just a lot of like boiled rice because that was the only thing I was interested in, and even like mashed potato. Um, and even a little bit of gravy. I had a bit of gravy not too long ago, and having chips and gravy is really, really nice. It's one of my favorite snacks. And that's something I really haven't lost like my appetite for or taste in. But I guess it's just, fast food. Or maybe it's just the process of, fast food slowly degrading their food quality. Either way, um, it just seems like now some things don't really taste the same as they used to. And, you know, maybe that's just due, you know, change, and there's nothing much I can really prevent from fast food companies from, like, I guess, changing their recipes, or KFC removing the tomatoes from their twisters. Honestly, if I had to go on a little, like, side rant today, I'm allowed one per episode, don't worry, is that KFC here in Australia, I remember years ago, they removed tomato as an ingredient from their twisters. And I know, like, the current burger they have it off KFC, the KFC, I think it's Wicked Burger that has tomato in it, but not their twister. And I remember when they got rid of tomato from the twister, everyone was like, quite upset by it, because it's like, getting rid of cheese from a cheeseburger. It was such a defining ingredient of the twister that it didn't really taste the same afterwards. Instead, they put like some corn chips and made it like a crunch twister. For those who don't know what a KFC twister is, it's basically like a KFC like chicken wrap. Um, and I used to remember getting a lot of KFC twisters before they made the recipe change, but afterwards, it just didn't taste the same. Like, even just a small ingredient change, or just getting rid of an ingredient, I should say, really just changes, uh, you know, your sort of enjoyment of it, or I guess your sort of taste of that product. Um, and even, like, I remember a Porter's charge. If we're just talking about that, a Porter's, they do keep tomato on their burgers, but I'm pretty sure you gotta pay like extra for some weird reason. I don't know if that's like a thing anymore, because it's been a while since I've ordered at a Porto's, but I do remember having to do that once. They're like, "Oh, would you like tomato?" Yes, all right, that'll be an extra dollar. But why? It's like adding you know, an extra dollar for lettuce. You expect lettuce to be on a burger, so would you tomato? But why are you gonna pay extra? Like, just include it in the burger or not. Don't like force people to pay an extra dollar for it. I think that's a little bit insulting. But I would, you know what? Maybe I'll make an exception for the KFC Twister. Maybe I'll pay a few cents more or a dollar more if I can get tomato on the Twister. But yeah. So obviously, I guess my taste buds have changed, or maybe, uh, you know, maybe due to me not having sickness not too long ago, uh, maybe I'm still having like that sort of what you call it when you're sick and you have like a dramatically different sense of taste. I guess you have like that. I'll just call it sick taste. The taste you have when you're sick, and you can only eat like dry foods and like very basic foods. Um, but it could be yet again something else entirely. And I know I don't want to keep on like repeating myself here, and here, but um, yeah, I guess when I grow older, my taste buds will be completely different 20 years from now. Um, and growing up, I even, like, if I just had to use a personal example, I remember growing up, in terms of my taste buds, I didn't really like olives and tomatoes. I didn't really like growing up as a kid, but I guess when you grow older, your taste buds um, sort of shift, and you end up liking those foods a lot more, or those condiments, or no, they're not condiments, but like they're more like side things that you have in preparation of a full meal. You just have like a platter of olives and pickles, instead of, I guess, just eating. olives and pickles by themselves. I mean, you could eat olives and pickles by themselves, but it's not really gonna fill you up. It's more like a snack. And I know I sound really stupid in this video, but that's because I guess like my voice is still a little bit croaky and it's a little bit harder for me to say sentences and words and to really like speak fast as I used to. So when you spend more time thinking about things, that ironically makes you a little bit slower and you just want to fill the dead air by like keep on keeping the conversation flowing. Maybe I should just drink like a little bit of water. Maybe I should have had like a little cup of water before I started. But anyway, I don't think that has like much to do with it. But yeah, to really end off this video, it seems like now my I guess taste buds have sort of shifted. That my like sense of taste hasn't really fully gone back to what it was maybe like month or two ago. It seems that after being sick, my something happened with my I guess taste buds or sense of taste, and I still just like a lot of like plain foods. Nothing like too complex. Even stuff like fast food, I don't really I guess particularly enjoy anymore. And I guess part of that's a good thing. Just eat more homemade food, um, less reliance on junk food. But at the same time, I do like sometimes the greasy taste of a roast chicken and like chips or chips and gravy, or even just like KFC chicken salt, which I love. Or I guess used to love because now whenever I have it, I'm like, all right, well, does it taste the same as I remember it, or just something that I guess has personally affected me. I doubt KFC have changed the recipe, but nevertheless, though, I noticed that I guess shift in taste, and it does take some while getting used to. And I guess I feel a lot better now. I'm not feverish or anything, but I've noticed I do get tired a lot more often now since I've been sick. Uh, Yet again, not that I'm sick anymore, but you continue on those like effects, like drowsiness, loss of taste, I guess, or just altered taste. Even though you may be perfectly fine, maybe nearly recovered, you still carry on those things, if you know what I mean, those symptoms or those side effects. And yet again, though, I don't even know what caused me to get so sick in the first place. It felt like a fever, but it was like, man, this must be a pretty like big fever because it made me like bedridden for a few days, and my head felt like a furnace. But I guess it did something, and now or maybe yet again could be another external factor. Maybe I'm just getting old, and maybe I'm just like overthinking it. But yeah, I guess as time goes by, your taste and things gradually change, and yeah, just uh, I guess I'm really trying to think of something to end on here, but that's pretty much it. That's pretty much my final thing I want to say. Other than I still enjoy eating some of my favorite foods like chips and gravy. Yeah, I'm not gonna keep on mentioning chips and gravy. I really like potato mash. Potato mash, medium rare steak, spaghetti and all that, spaghetti and meatballs. Um, all those, I guess, dishes still, taste good to me, and that's pretty much all that matters. And as for I guess the week ahead, I know I got something Thursday out in the city, but that isn't until the afternoon. Then Friday. I'll see if I can maybe do a study day at my university, so then I can do my Sydney Awake in Progress project, take pictures and videos around the city. Other than that, rest of the week really nothing, but I really got to lock in with these assignments, and Like I said, these next couple of weeks will be busy, so sorry if there's nothing all that interesting, but I'll be trying to focus on, I guess, the more interesting aspects of my life. But anyway, that's enough of me talking, and I guess I'll catch you all next time. Bye, see you, take care, catch you all tomorrow.